heard the very insightful panel discussion on cultural transformation, right? So we heard from Mr. Vivek Salaria, and I would like to invite him again on the stage for his session. Vivek Salaria, CEO, OriginBluy, for sharing his insights on building a culture of growth. So, Vivek, being a CEO for OriginBluy, India's leading people development firm, OriginBluy is dedicated to empowering business worldwide to build cultures of growth and leadership excellence. So, give it up for Vivek sir again.
And I need to switch. Can you hear me? Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. So, hungry? Yeah, and am I the only one between you and lunch? I'll try to make it short and I'll try to make it fast. Good afternoon once again. How are you all? Tired sitting down for a very long time? Let me do a little activity with all of you. Will that be okay? Yes. I'd love for all of you to get up a bit. Okay, let's just get up a bit. Let's just stretch ourselves. Will that be okay? Yes. Okay, and what I'd like you all to do is just open your legs up. Okay, make some space. Just open your legs up a little bit. Let's get that movement going for all ourselves. Can we do that? Yes? Yes, no? Yes. Okay, just open up your arms a bit. Just like move around. Do we have the Baba Ramdev yoga? Definitely not. But thank you for asking that question, though. All right. How are you all doing today? Are you happy to be here? Yes. I can't hear you. Yes. Oh, I can still not hear you. Yes. Will you play a game with me? Yes. I can't hear you. Yes. Excellent. So whenever say happy to be here, how may you respond? Happy to be here. Can you do that game with me? Okay, so happy to be here? Happy to be here. Yeah, but see, we can't do it like this. Okay, we can't say, oh, happy to be here. Okay, I'd love for you all to take your thumbs out. Take out both your thumbs, and let me put this very irritating device away. Okay. Okay, so let's take our thumbs out. Like, let's pump some energy in this room right now. Can we do that? Take your thumbs out, both your thumbs out, like move your arms a bit. Okay, happy to be here? Yes, me, happy to be here. Okay, together. Let's raise our thumbs up. Okay, happy to be here? Happy to be here? Fantastic, guys. Let's give a big round of applause to ourselves first. And this is what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to turn to a person who is next to you, like your neighbor. Pair up in twos. Come on, they don't bite. I checked. Okay. I'd like you to pair up in twos. And how will you wish the person? With full energy, shake their hands, take the hand out of the sprocket. What will you say? I can't hear you. I can still not hear you. Awesome, guys. Let's give a big round of applause to ourselves. Thank you for being such an amazing audience. Please take your chairs if you want to. You can remain standing. If you want to move a bit, trees. My name is Vivek. I'm the CEO of OriginBluy. And over the last decade, we've been working with organizations to help them plant the seeds of growth culture in their organizations, right? Today, what I want to share with you is why is this growth culture important today? And how can you, as leaders of talent, as guardians of the consciousness of culture, enable growth culture in your organization, right? As a part of it, I'd love to share why very senior leaders, at least in our experience, oh, this is me, they're following me, okay. Okay, I'd love to share why your executives end up getting disengaged whenever you talk learning, but will start engaging the moment you start speaking earnings per share or revenue growth. Can I do that? So one thing that you will experience with me is you will have to speak with me, okay? I hate speaking alone. Will that be okay? Yes. And now you've got to speak louder. The last row, normally you're the loudest always, yes? Yes, no? Yes. Awesome, thank you very much. Yeah, let's talk growth. Can you see this slide? Okay, let's talk growth. And I'm sure all of you know this, given the business foundations that you're on. Growth is driven either organically or inorganically, correct? You lay the foundations of newer businesses. These businesses scale up to a certain extent, and you can divest them, list them publicly, do that fantastic valuation growth, do that fantastic revenue growth, etc. from organizations, right? The second is inorganic. You acquire a company and then 1 plus 1 becomes 11 in those cases. You cross-sell, you upsell, you build a much larger pool of growth for yourself. There's a third lever that starts coming in when it comes to growth. Shall I share that with you? Yes. And, okay, I'm pressing the wrong one. Okay. And that lever is industry shifts. Industry shifts, for example, policy. Make in India, China plus one, right? Semiconductors domestically only. No export of raw material. All of these are policy shifts that drive a lot of change and growth. The second one, tech. Tech's been a driver of industry shifts since forever. And we know AI, before this e-commerce, before that internet. And I can keep going back to the Bronze Age or the discovery or the invention of wheel. These shifts in technology have brought about tectonic shifts in the overall industry and therefore reorientation of the places where the revenue falls. And the last but not the least, demographics. What is the average income per person in your purchase pool, right? How much disposable income does your customer have? And CEOs and business leaders are seeing this in India. India today, fortunately, is at a cusp where a lot of these elements are uniting together. So organizations which were for a very long time seeing a very healthy growth, or leaders of organizations which are continuing to see healthy growth, have started, at least to us, changing the conversations that they have with us. And the question that they started asking, the question that they should be asking is, versus having the kind of growth I am, what can I do to significantly amp up my growth, significantly amp up my revenue? This is a moment in time, this is a moment in history for this country to really elevate itself to the next level. Are you all with me? Yes. Okay, because the policy is coming together, the tech is there, and fortunately we have the demographic dividends. And let me share a little bit more about these demographic dividends, right? Over the next decade, this is the way the population or the income segments of the populations will start shifting. And I'm going to bring up three elements. The first one, the number of people in the upper middle will increase by almost 100 million. Premiumization of services comes right over here. And you see, they stand outside a Louis Vuitton showroom, and you will see the amount of time it takes to get inside, right? The second one, the number of people in the lower middle income will also go up by almost 37 million. Right? So an increase in purchase of the basic elements that we take for granted is going to start going up. More spends happening on basic needs. Coupled with the fact that the lower income will be reducing because a lot of these people will be moving to upper income segments. So purchasing is going to go up in this country over the next decade. Will your organization be able to leverage on this growth? Is an open question that is out there. And this forum over here, this audience over here has a pivotal role to play over here, right? We are the ones who influence these shifts. And a product gets built for 10 years, yes or no? Any good product gets built for 10 years, and I can take examples, but I don't want to because they might just get a little angry with me. A product is for 10 years. A plant that you put in place lasts you for a good 30 years, correct or not? But how long does a culture last? A culture lasts forever. Anybody who comes into a culture starts becoming a part of that culture and growing the organization with them. And if I were the executive, if I wanted to build a long-term sustainable organization, where should my investments go? Where should my investments go? But why do they not go there? Because till date, we are talking about it as a wishy-washy good thing to have. We are not correlating this drivers of culture to revenue. How much shift in lever A, and I'm just using this term, how much shift in empathy in the organization will bring X shift in our revenue, right? What experiments do we want to play with our culture today? What data-driven experiments do we want to do with our elements of culture to see the correlation with our revenue or earnings per share or EBITDA, whatever is the core driver of the organization? Okay? And then the quiz. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Let me know if you agree with this. For a 5x culture growth, what may work? Will a 90-hour work week work? No, yes, no. I got to hear a yes, no. Are you serious? No? All right. A sales push, keep hammering the sales guys once again, keep calling them every 5 minutes, kitna hua, kitna hua, kitna hua. Will this work? No. Yes, no? Okay, had this been a sales conference, they would have given me a different answer altogether. Vivek, हमारे लोगों को डंडा ही चलता है बस. Okay. Will a coach work? Yes, the HR fraternity, huh? By the way, I'm a coach. I work with an organization of 200 plus coaches. I personally don't believe that just a coach will work, okay, in driving that higher revenue. But there is a correlation, right? So then what will work? I had a Mentimeter thing, but given the time, I'm going to skip the Mentimeter question for all of you, okay? And I want to make one critical differentiation, right? A growth culture is not a performance-obsessed culture. A growth culture is not a performance-obsessed culture. Just because I showed that hockey stick does not mean that only those organizations which push their people achieve a growth culture. And here are some differences. I'll start from the bottom up. I've always been the last bencher. Continuous feedback versus guilt-driven feedback. A growth organization will have feedback which starts like this. Supposing they fail, so what went wrong, Vivek? What did we not know that we now know? How do we build on this? A performance-obsessed culture will be, पहले क्यों नहीं सोचा? तुम्हें अभी ही क्यों जाग आ रही है? Why did we not know about this earlier? What could you have done? Why didn't you think of this earlier? And that increases guilt in people, and therefore, they becomes more performance-oriented. Transparency-based curiosity. So like I was sharing, I failed, and this is what I learned. I tried this, but this is something that I think we missed out on, right? Whereas over here, it will either be, I did this, we made this happen, I got this done, or they did not do it, they did not do it. We are innovating, but the sales is not pushing it, and sales is saying, "Arey sir, koi le hi nahi raha, to hum kaise push kar sakte hain aage?" So it's a lot of blame-focused or win-focused. Time-limited experiments versus can't fail. So a growth organization will be comfortable doing experiments. Let me try this, what can work? They'll constantly be focused on poking the balloon and seeing what can happen. They're constantly focused on pushing the boundaries to see what can happen because they're not focused on failing. They don't fear failure. Whereas a performance-obsessed culture will be, I can't fail, I have to deliver right now. I have to make the sales happen. Because if I don't, I will be classified either as a winner or as a loser. Are you all with me? And this shift from a performance-based to a growth-based organization is a crucial element that we've all got to keep our minds on. How do you build one? Okay. This is a culture canvas that we typically use in our organizations. It has got 3 core pillars. Let me walk you through the pillars first. The first always is the leadership and their ambition for the organization. Okay. The second is switching on what is called the mission mode. Okay. How can I do this? What do I need to bring to life? What experiments do I want to do right now? And the third is scaling it to the larger organization. If I were to pick up leadership, okay, starts with process sponsorship. Now, a lot of leadership is very oriented towards outcome sponsorship. You tell them, sir, 5 years down the line, 3x revenue kar denge. Ah, very good. Let's do this, okay? But the moment you focus on them to stay true to what is needed to get there one by one, laying the foundation and then the top, people lose patience. And that is where we've got to get a longer term buy-in with the leadership towards the process and not just the business outcome. Okay, the next one, identifying wicked problems. Wicked problems are problems that don't have easy answers. It's an amalgamation of 3 factors. Number 1, there is emotions involved. There are multiple options which are available. And the individual's influencing matters very significantly in which direction we can shift. So, wicked problems, right? Mission mode. Early stage innovation, late stage innovation. Early stage innovation, pre-revenue, product market fit. Am I sowing the seeds of intrapreneurship in my organization so that we can innovate on newer products, newer markets? And then, once I have them, am I funding them in a way that they can become late stage innovations which can continue scaling the market? Okay, and then, of course, scaling it up. Behavior shift blueprints for the organization that are built for India and are data enabled, so that we are able to create a data loop starting from the very leadership on to the last feet on street on ground, and this continuously starts churning out as a culture. There are some tools we have seen work out very well for this one, and to unlock it, the first tool is with the leadership, an ability for them to be more governance and empowering oriented versus control oriented. So this shift from control to governance and empowering is a significant one, needs a lot of work on, right? We found coaching as one of the best ways to be able to bring this to life. The next one is Shark Tank styled innovations, not innovations for the sake of innovations, not just telling everybody, oh, all of us need to innovate, everybody has to innovate on their work, but innovations where people should ask for investments into their early stage innovations, innovations that directly tie into our portfolio of growth for the organization. And last but not the least, a behavior shift platform, not to be confused with a LMS platform. LMS platforms are typically once in lifetime or once in the stage of a certain quarter, year, and so on. But how do I remind my people every day that they've got to build this growth mindset within themselves? How do my people learn from their own people what needs to happen? How do I make it cool? How do I make it engaging? How do I make it Gen Z and the senior leadership oriented, right? So a shift in the platform strategy will always help. Very quickly, these are 3 tools we have identified which very easily help. An explore, exploit framework, we can talk about it later on during the breaks. The second one is a gamified innovation effort towards the organization. And last but not the least, Instagram-like feeds towards the behavior shifts we want the organizations to build. All of this encapsulated in what is called a growth brand. Build that growth brand, make this effort timeless, and allow your organization to thrive on it. I'm going to pause for this. I'd love to take questions, but I know you're all hungry right now. But we can always touch base during lunch. Okay, this is work that we've been enabling for some of the organizations. This one particular organization increased its asset base by 4x from wherever they were to around 17,000 crores through this particular journey. Another couple of organizations that continue doing this. Roast comedy shows become fantastic ways to drive home some very difficult messages that you want to drive around inclusiveness, around accountability, ownership at work, and all of these formats kind of come together towards one objective, helping an organization increase its revenue by enabling the right culture. Are you all with me? Yes. Are you all still awake? Yes. I am shocked. All right. But there is one ingredient which is missing over here. Do you know what ingredient is missing? There is one ingredient which is missing here. What is that ingredient? This room, we the people. Are you all with me? Yes. We can talk about this, but the person who has to unlock this, and this is from my favorite movie, okay, the person who has to unlock this are the ones who are in this room. You have to take this value to your organizations. You've got to talk to CEO in the language that resonates with them, whatever their strategic objectives are, and from there, what culture drivers do we enable? How do we drive this organization towards this higher growth? Would you be willing to do it? Yes. I can't hear you. Yes. Are you sure? Yes. I can still not hear you. Yes. Fantastic. Thank you very much. This is a journey that we enable for organizations with a team of approximately 200 coaches, a presence across the world, and with some marquee clients, digital platform, etc. We are partners with HR leaders who are ambitious for their organizations. Thank you very much. I am available outside. Love to talk.
Powerful performance, and like the session was really like energizing. I guess you all are energized for until we reach out to the lunch, right? Yeah, thank you very much. And up next, I would like to invite Ms. Nandita Mehta to felicitate sir with a token of appreciation.